Today we're going to do a quick video on simply looking at the Rolex Submariner. This model here is the 116610 LV, commonly referred to as Hulk, as you can tell from the all green colour. Although in some lights the green dial can look almost black. I just absolutely love this watch. Look how the colours of that green on the dial change. 1 minute it's like a really dark green, almost black, could almost be the Kermit. And then you start to see the green coming through. And then it's almost reflective as well. You can almost imagine a piston prop from an aircraft slowly starting to turn, the way that green light shines on there. It's really quite spectacular and somewhat mesmerizing. This particular model is now of course discontinued. When I purchased it from my authorized dealer, I was able to get it at its retail price of around about 6,500 or however much it was. They're currently retailing on Chrono24 for around about 17 to 18 plus £1,000, depending on their condition and whether they're brand new or worn or not. Of course, this model is mine. I don't sell anything. I just use the watches that I have. Although as the channel grows, I might look to see if I've got any friends who might be willing to let me borrow and look at their watches occasionally, just to add something a little bit different. Otherwise I'll run out of content and watches eventually. I just want to admire this watch with you whilst I enjoy my outdoor camping experience. Of course, it's water resistant or waterproof to 300 meters or 1,000 feet. It's a superlative chronometer, officially certified, and at the top it's Rolex Oyster Perpetual Date. So of course this watch is officially known as the Submariner Date. So if you say, do you have a Submariner? A regular Submariner, of course, is the Submariner with no date. We don't say Submariner no date. Let's look at the clasp. The clasp, of course, is 904 steel. As you can see, oh, a nice little insect flying there. Thank you, Mr. Insect. The clasp is, you can tell we're outside in the middle of nowhere here, can't you? The clasp is 904 steel. There's a few minor scratch marks on the body there. That's because I wear my watches often out here in the middle of nowhere. This particular watch, because it's a Submariner, has the Glidelock system. And you can see I have it on the second indentation there. You can move the slide lock in that way to that point. That makes it a bit shorter. And then we can adjust and pull it out that way. So if you're diving or you have a wetsuit on, you can open it to its full extent and it should fit over your diving suit. And then when you finish your James Bond diving expedition, slide it back, it just snaps into position. To put the watch on is very simple. You just put it over your wrist, line it up there, turn it over carefully, pull the clasp across, up, snap it into position, and then the safety latch drops down over the top. And of course you then have a perfectly fitting watch. You could, of course, if it was very warm and you're not diving, just use that dive extension just to give yourself a little bit more room on the wrist as well. You have a quick set date change you undo the crown, pull the crown out one position, and then you can just rotate the crown and that will change the date for you. Pull the crown out completely, and that of course changes and that of course stops the second hand, and you can then set the time to the exact time that you wish to set it to. And then you just simply push the crown back in again and do it back up tight. And that is then done up, tight, ready for you to go diving down to 300 meters if you so desire. Now, I'll show you how the dive bezel works. If your dive is 20 minutes, you rotate the timer, the bezel, so that the pip lines up with the minute hand. And you know your dive is 30 minutes. So when you get to the 30-minute mark, that's when you need to be back up again. Now, if you accidentally turn it the wrong way, what happens now? You now come up 5 minutes, in this example, earlier than planned, meaning you have saved your life. If the bezel rotated in the other direction, which it doesn't, and you accidentally turn the 30 5 minutes in the other direction, that could be the difference between life and death. That's why the bezel on the Submariner only turns one way, unidirectional, life-saving. Just take a moment to admire that green with the green background.